Hello everyone, welcome to MES e-learning channel. In this video, we will be learning about transfer function of a system. So, the definition of transfer function is as follows. Transfer function of a control system is the ratio of Laplace transform of the output upon the Laplace transform of the input with zero initial conditions. Now, let us go ahead and see how we can find out the equation of transfer function. For that, we need to understand a few things. So, here I have drawn a diagram. RS indicates the input. This is called as the summing point. G of S indicates the gain of the system and C of S indicates the output. Here, as we can see, R of S is coming to this summing point and then it is given ahead to this gain block. So, now when R of S, the input, gets into the gain block, the output coming from the gain block will look something like this. It is the product of the input, which is R of S, into the gain of the system, which will finally come out as the output of the system. So, C of S is going to be R of S into G of S. So, this is when we have an input which just goes to the gain block and comes as an output. Now, if we make a few additions to this particular system, if we add a feedback path from the output side towards the input side, over here we have H of S, which indicates the feedback. This is the feedback which will then come to this summing point. Okay. So, now in this particular case there will be a few changes, because at this summing point along with this input R of S, we have one more input that is coming as feedback. Now, here at feedback, H of S is going to give us an output, which is going to be what? We will have H of S multiplied with the output, that is C of S, and then this particular product is going to go and get into the summing point, and the output that we will get from this summing point, which will ultimately get into the gain block, is going to be what? R of S minus this thing, that is H of S into C of S, right. Then ultimately it will get into the gain block, right. So, gain blocks impact will be, it will be multiplied, the gain will be multiplied with this particular term, which is ultimately written as what? We can write it down as R of S minus H of S into C of S multiplied with G of S, that is the gain block, and ultimately this will come out as the output, which is nothing but what? It is C of S, right. Now, let us try to simplify this equation. We will simply open this particular bracket. So, we have R of S into G of S minus G of S into H of S into C of S equal to C of S. Now, let us take the terms with C of S on one side. So, here we have R of S into G of S equal to C of S plus G of S into H of S into C of S. Let us take C of S common. So, we have C of S, then we have 1 plus G of S into H of S. Here we have R of S into G of S. So, here we can further simplify it as, now as I told you here, what is transfer function? Transfer function is the Laplace transform of output upon input. Here we can simply say that what is transfer function? It is the output upon the input. So, what is the output here? We can see that C of S is the output and RFS is the input, which we can write like this. So, we have output upon input. So, what is output? Output is C of S upon input, which is R of S. In this equation, we can see that we have C of S and R of S. So, this is C of S and this is R of S. So, we can further simplify this equation as C of S upon R of S is equal to G of S upon 1 plus G of S into H of S. So, this is nothing but the transfer function equation. You can let me know in the comment section which type of system is this. Thanks for watching.